Democratic presidential contenders criticized the airstrike that President Donald Trump ordered overnight, killing Iranian General Qassem Soleimani. Former Vice President Joe Biden said that Soleimani deserved to be brought to justice for killing American troops and innocent people, but none of that negates the fact that this is a hugely escalatory move in an already dangerous region. President Trump just tossed a stick of dynamite into a tinderbox, and he owes the American people an explanation of the strategy and plan to keep our troops and embassy personnel, our people and our interests, both here at home and abroad, and our partners throughout the region and beyond. My statement on the killing of Qassem Soleimani. pic.twitter.com/4q9 to live B. Joe Biden, @Joe Biden, January 3, 2020, Sen. Elizabeth Warren, DMAS, added, Soleimani was a murderer, responsible for the deaths of thousands, including hundreds of Americans. But this reckless move escalates the situation with Iran and increases the likelihood of more deaths and new Middle East conflict. Our priority must be to avoid another costly war. Donald Trump ripped up an Iran nuclear deal that was working. He's repeatedly escalated tensions. Now he's assassinated a senior foreign military official. He's been marching toward war with Iran since his first days in office, but the American people won't stand for it, she said. Donald Trump ripped up an Iran nuclear deal that was working. He's repeatedly escalated tensions. Now he's assassinated a senior foreign military official. He's been marching toward war with Iran since his first days in office, but the American people won't stand for it. Elizabeth Warren, @E. Warren, January 3, 2020, Soleimani was a terrorist responsible for killing Americans. But this wasn't authorized by Congress and is an escalation that risks a wider war with Iran. Mr. Trump risks making a bad situation worse with reckless action, billionaire Tom Steyer said in a statement. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg said Soleimani was a murderer with the blood of Americans on his hands, but said Trump's track record and his history of making reckless and impulsive decisions made the situation deeply concerning. Statement on the killing of Qassem Soleimani. pic.twitter.com/nijsaji, Mike Bloomberg, @Mike Bloomberg, January 3, 2020, former Massachusetts Gov. Deval Patrick called Soleimani a menace to the world and to peace-loving people everywhere. At the same time, a difficult situation is becoming more dangerous because of a lack of leadership, he said. Without the president explaining the plan or path forward, we risk making the situation even more perilous and our country and the world less safe. Responsible leadership requires that we consider and plan for the consequences in advance. My statement on the death of Qassem Soleimani, pic.twitter.com/q1j2gypsaqv, Deval Patrick, @Deval Patrick, January 3, 2020. Entrepreneur Andrew Yang didn't mention Soleimani being killed but said that he is running on a pledge to end so-called forever wars. This decision highlights the need to get Donald Trump out of office. We need better decision-making in the White House that does not escalate violence but instead invests in diplomacy to achieve our national interests, he said. This decision highlights the need to get Donald Trump out of office. We need better decision-making in the White House that does not escalate violence but instead invests in diplomacy to achieve our national interests. Andrew Yang builds cap, @Andrew Yang, January 3, 2020. Senator Bernie Sanders, IVT, also didn't mention Soleimani's killing. A statement, he said, Trump's dangerous escalation brings us closer to another disastrous war in the Middle East that could cost countless lives and trillions more dollars. Trump promised to end endless wars, but this action puts us on the path to another one. Trump's dangerous escalation brings us closer to another disastrous war in the Middle East that could cost countless lives and trillions more dollars. Trump promised to end endless wars, but this action puts us on the path to another one. Bernie Sanders, @Bernie Sanders, January 3, 2020, Sen. Cory Booker, DNJ, claimed that, "We have a president who has no strategic plan when it comes to Iran and has only made that region less stable and less safe." He denounced Trump's decisions during an appearance on MSNBC late Thursday. Former Rep. John Delaney, RMD, said in a statement, while Soleimani was directly responsible for the deaths of countless lives, including many Americans, and was a significant danger to our troops and a destabilizing force in the region and deserved to be brought to justice for his actions against our troops, the administration's failure to brief congressional leadership on this action is troubling and raises the risk of reckless actions that could lead to a dangerous escalation. Rep. Tulsi Gabbard, in Hawaii, said in a video statement that the bombing was an act of war, with no authorization of declaration of war from Congress. She accused the president of placing the United States in a state of war with Iran and has seriously escalated this tit-for-tat conflict, pushing us deeper into an endless quagmire. Sen. Amy Klobuchar, D-Min, said Soleimani was responsible for directing Iran's destabilizing actions in Iraq, Syria, and throughout the Middle East, including attacks against U.S. forces, but the timing, manner, and potential consequences of the administration's actions raise serious questions and concerns about an escalating conflict. pic.twitter.com/khjndkv65v. Amy Klobuchar. At Amy Klobuchar, January 3, 2020. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg said in a statement that said Soleimani was a threat to Americans, but there are serious questions about how this decision was made and whether we are prepared for the consequences. He said the next steps should include consulting Congress, American allies, and stakeholders in the Middle East. My statement on the killing of Qassem Soleimani. pic.twitter.com/DoCouchinsm. Pete Buttigieg. At Pete Buttigieg, January 3, 2020. Author Marianne Williamson said in a statement, "This isn't about whether Soleimani was a good man any more than it was about whether Saddam was a good man. It's about smart versus stupid use of military power. Invading Iraq was criminally irresponsible. For more than a decade he masterminded Iran's malevolent and destabilizing actions throughout the Middle East," Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, RK, said in a Senate floor speech on Friday afternoon. Soleimani's actions led to the rise of the ISIS terrorist group, he added. For too long this evil man operated without restraint and countless innocents suffered for it, he said. Senator Marco Rubio, our Florida, said in a statement on Twitter, facing repeated Quds force chose the path of escalation. He added, "They are entirely to blame for bringing about the dangerous moment now before us." Follow Zachary on Twitter, @ZachStieber. Let's block ads. Why?